For all you good folks that think we ought not eat cows, try to do this once to them. That'll change your mind. Welcome to Built on Faith Homestead or Leaving Egypt, depending on which video platform you like to watch your content on. My name is Justin. That's Melissa over there hanging out in the recliner, being the Miss Pregnant woman she is. Bobo was in that chair. I don't know if he just got raptured or where he went. Lila's stirring dinner and Leah's running around like a chicken with her head cut off. But today I'm going to show you our homemade fly spray that we use on our dairy cow. We could also use it on future animals that we may have come to the homestead one of these days very soon. I'll keep you up in the air about that, but hopefully that'll happen soon. But I'll show you the ingredients that we use, and then we'll go out and milk together here in just a minute. All right, here's what we use. I just use the cheap apple cider vinegar, 4 cups of that, a couple of tablespoons of liquid dish soap, a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and then get these where you can see them. 20 drops of each of these. Peppermint oil. Hey, put the broom up. Put the broom up. There you go. All right, we almost got hit by a broom. 20 drops of peppermint oil. 20 drops of tea tree oil. 20 drops of eucalyptus. 20 drops of basil. 20 drops of rosemary, and it looks something like this. Now I got this at the feed store, and turns out the spray bottle works just as good on a dairy cow as it does a horse. I don't think it knows the difference. We have her in a different barn right now, and I'll explain all that here in just a little bit. So the lighting's gonna be a little rougher in here. This is a this barn's got more cover, right? The sides are all on it, roof on it, so lighting may be a little bit difficult, but we will go ahead and get her fed and get her hooked up, and we'll spray her down, and I'll explain why we're in this barn and kind of what's going on. This is difficult to self-film here. Back up, back up, back up, back up. There you go. Eat up, girly. All right, so with this lighting, you're probably not going to be able to see the flies, but we'll just spray her down with this. She doesn't particularly like it, so she'll do some moving around. She likes it after it's done. This stuff, I think, actually kills the flies because they'll just literally fall off of her. And wherever you don't spray, it will have flies on it, which will agitate her, make her harder to milk, make you get whapped in the face more with the tail, makes her more uncomfortable. So the more we spray her down, the better. I know, girly. Get her good and sprayed down. Flies are literally falling off of her at this point. Should have brought you guys to this side. I sprayed that side and this side was covered. Don't knock the camera over, Wilma. Don't run into the good people of YouTube that's watching us. You good ones, not the AI program that is trying to get me kicked off all the time, but you good people. You can get this sprayed down. Alright, this will help the flies in the face and the tail in the face. Spray it down good. Alright, I don't know exactly which ingredient the flies don't like, but she ain't hardly got a fly one on her now. So there is a carpenter bee buzzing around in here. And I have been attacked by yellow jackets before, so it's making me a little jumpy. I know it's a carpenter bee. I know it's not going to bother me. But every time I hear the buzzing, it makes me just a little bit jumpy. So now, all that we'll do, now that we have fly sprayed her, is I've got a warm water mixture over here. I guess I can show you. In this bucket. I had a cool little other bucket, but I got a hole in it. Just a hot soapy water bucket, and you clean off her udder really, really well, best you can. And you can iodine it also. I have been iodining post milking, and I'll explain why here in just a minute if you want to hang around. And then after you wash her up good, just use a dry towel and dry her off good. Get everything nice and clean. The dish soap we use is the same soap we use to do our dishes. Whapped in the face. But you always want to get her good and dry. Keep all that dripping down. That way you don't get any extra bacteria in your milk that you don't want. Now for the, usually I bring it with me, but I forgot it. Let me go get the little pail, and I catch it, and it's kind of a check for mastitis and those kinds of things. We'll explain that as well. So I take this little metal pail, and this is what I do our clean outs in. Clean out to 3, 4, 5 good squirts per quarter, and I hold it kind of at an angle where I can see it, and I let the milk hit the top and then run down. And what I'm watching for is chunks. I'm looking for mastitis to make sure we don't have a developing problem. Now, my understanding is that all dairy cows have some sort of mastitis. Most of it is just subclinical. But if you're getting big chunks in your first little bit of milking, you know you've got some issues, right? And all of these look really good. So, we got that done. Now it's time to start the milking. Here is one of her quarters. I'll show you. You guys are gonna get whapped too a little bit. How I have to do it. Her, for lack of a better word, her nipples are fairly large, fairly long, right? So about 3 of my fingers long. So that makes it easier, but I can still only use about 2 fingers and my thumb to milk. And I pinch it off, and then you squeeze it down. Pinch it off, squeeze it down. Right, and you just repeat that motion. It might take you a few times to get used to it, to figure it out. What kind of rhythm works best for you, but this works best for me. I still can't quite use 2 hands the whole time, that's for sure. So I usually have to just do one and kind of swap it back and forth, but this is the process that we go through. So I told you guys I would tell you why we are in this barn over here. When we got Wilma, when we were blessed with her, when the Lord blessed us with her, she came with one of her quarters having mastitis in it already. And so we were treating that mastitis, and it was getting kind of better. It had thinned out quite a bit, which was good, but it was still hanging on pretty good. And those of you that watch our channel know we're still pretty new to this. We're still pretty new to dairy cows and how to take care of them and all of those things. And I just did not feel like I was getting out ahead of it enough, right? I wasn't taking care of it well enough. And so we got a hold of a local vet, and he come yesterday and looked her over, said a few really good things about her, right? Talked about how good of a demeanor she had, and told her how much milk we're getting off the 3 quarters and all of that. He was excited about that. Looked her over, said she looked great, and said she acted like she'd be a really good family milk cow, which we have also said. She's been very calm and very easy to work with, which has been a good thing. When he checked the quarter that has the mastitis in it, of course, it had been getting better the last few days for the first time, really, like really getting substantially better. But I told him what we had been doing and how she hadn't really reacted a whole lot to that, or how it had thinned out but not cleared out, which was good information for him to have, because he knew some other medicine that we could give her that would attack that mastitis in a little bit different way, since we weren't able to get it took care of with the other medicine we were using. So he gave us some other medicine, and one of them has to go up into the quarter. You put it in through the nipple. And that's part of the reason why we have her over here, because if I can't do it with her head tied up, I'll have to run her down into the head chute, get her head caught, and do it that way, because I'm not nearly as good as the vet, man. He come in here, put some medicine in it the other day, and he was just like, done. And I was like, man, you're quick at that, right? I'm not near that quick at it, but I don't want to cause a whole lot of stress on her. So if I can't get it in there, by just having her head tied up, then I'll have to run her down into the head chute where she can't do as much moving. Squeezes her in there a little bit tighter and causes less stress on her and on me as well. All right, I have her head tied in tighter. This is the medicine that goes into her teat. It's an antibiotic that will hopefully help take care of the mastitis. This is something a little bit different than the Today medicine that we were using. I've got her head tied pretty tight. I've got her up against this wall. Don't judge old Wilma off of anything that's about to happen. If I was trying to stick that in your personal business, you probably wouldn't be happy either. And she's a lot like a kid. She don't know that I'm trying to help her. She doesn't understand that. All she knows is this is uncomfortable and I don't want you to do this. So we're gonna give it a try in the hay barn. If it don't work, I'll have to run her out to the head catch. But we'll try it. The vet made it look so easy yesterday. But I know, because I put the Today medicine in her, it's not as easy as he made it look. For a simpleton like me, anyway. Easy, girl. Easy. You're all right. You're doing good. Easy. Easy. Hold still. Got some of it. Head shoot it is. All right, we got her in the head catch. A little safer for me, but she is a pain to get down that alley. She don't like to go forward. She wants to go backward. But we'll try this again. Once again, don't judge what you're seeing now. Try not to judge little Wilma girl here. Most of it that time. You're all right. Hold still, girly. Easy. Come on, back that leg up. I need in there. Come on. Well, I don't believe she's gonna back that leg up, do you guys? There we go. She's even talking to me. She's so agitated. Move this stuff over. Problem with this is it's just a hair bit wide. Easy. Probably gonna have to go on the other side, guys. You hang tight, okay? I'm in there. Come on. I'm in there. Listen, I'll do it from back here. I don't care. Problem is, you get it worked in there and she kicks. That was a little more aggressive. Now she's getting agitated. Almost. Almost got it all. Come on, hold still. We'll be done. Gotcha. Only like 45 minutes and a bunch of sweat later. We got that done. We'll go ahead and give her shot. That just goes in her neck. That's simple, done. And we'll go from there. For all you good folks that think we ought not eat cows, try to do this once to them. That'll change your mind. So this is 8 milliliters. Supposed to be given to her several times the next few days here. I think it's once a day for the next 5 days. And it should be cleared out. Tonight was a lot better. We actually got some what looked like regular milk out of her. We'll get this in her and be done. You guys are kind of right in the way there. Let me move you. Easy girl. You're all right. Hold still. You're right in the way. I know, really. Easy, easy. 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 I know, it's good for you though. That is a much easier process. So now we iodine her on her quarter and her whole udder really to keep that mastitis from spreading. Then I'll put some cream on her to keep her other quarters from getting mastitis, and we'll wrap this up. So that is why I said we have been iodining her afterward. Is to disinfect and clean up everything to keep that mastitis from spreading. I like the good old classic bag balm, not sponsored by them. I got to pay the same money everybody else does for it, but it works pretty good. Make sure and cover that duct up because they will be opened up for a little while after milking, and that keeps her from getting any other bacteria in it. Talking to the vet yesterday, I learned something pretty impressive that I did not know. He told me that every dairy cow has some sort of mastitis. Some of it may be subclinical, but every dairy cow has mastitis. It's not the end of the world. It's not a huge problem when you're new to it like we are. It's a learning thing. Now that she had clinical mastitis, but it's a good thing. It's good to learn. You guys think we ought to cut her loose? I think we ought to. She's been through enough this evening. All right, here's the deal. You guys hold strong and don't get scared. I'm gonna cut her loose. Every other time I've cut her loose, she's went backward. But we'll try it. Come on. Wilma. Come on. That's why she's hard to bring down the alley. Her ritual after milking is to go get a drink. And she didn't do that this time, of course. She's continuing to get away from me. If you're watching this video and you think, man, he's kind of rough on her or what have you, I'll tell you, that's just part of taking care of the animal. But that animal's kind of like a, you know, in this case, somewhere's about a 700 to 800 pound kid that doesn't know that you're trying to help them. And so now she's going to the water. Mastitis is not a big deal, as long as you get it took care of, and that is something that we have tried to do and made sure that she is took care of, as happy and healthy as possible. She's given us over 3 gallons of milk a day just off those 3/4, and she seems happy, she seems healthy. I've been very impressed by her. What little bit of kicking she did there, she didn't get aggressive till right at the very end. She had one pretty aggressive kick, but even it was still straight down. It wasn't out trying to get me. Same way in the barn, right? Nothing was out trying to get me. It was all down. And that's something that you can work with. I don't know if I said it during the video, but if you do have one that has mastitis, a lot of times it's easier to work from the opposite side. So if you have mastitis on the back right quarter, it's easier to work from the back left, because she's naturally, the quarter you're working with, she's naturally going to want to kick with that leg. I kind of learned that whenever I was messing with her before, and then when I watched the vet do it, that's how he approached it. And I thought, I'm going to watch him real close, because he does this for a living and he knows what he's doing way better than I do, and I'm going to try to learn from him. So that's what I was trying to do. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully you're not sweating as hard as I am. Hopefully you're in the air conditioning, enjoying this with a nice big old cup of sweet tea or something. But I appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next video. Told you guys she likes to drink right after her milk, and that is her ritual. She does it in the pasture, out in front of the house. After we're done milking, she goes right to her water tank. And after we're done milking over here in my father-in-law's corral, she always goes to this automatic waterer. Even talking to you guys. Are you saying hi? And I don't want to forget to mention, we are blessed beyond measure. Not just with Wilma, although talk about a blessing, a true blessing and a testimony to how God will take care of his children, how God will use his children to help take care of each other. If you haven't already seen that video, I encourage you to go look when we first got her. You will see me explain how we ended up with her and what a blessing that is. But not only that, the corral and the barns that you see, that's all my father-in-law's. That's not ours. We don't own it. He's allowed us to use it while we are here. And it is a true blessing. You've seen how hard it was to get that in her just in the hay barn. If I didn't have some sort of head catch or something like that, it's a lot more difficult. I've done it before just in the hay barn, but I really had to secure her head. And it took Melissa distracting her while I give it to her. But Melissa's cooking dinner right now. I didn't want to bug her. So when you have availability like this of a head shoot or a stanchion, something like that, makes life a lot easier. If you're going to think about getting a milk cow, I would encourage you, if you don't have a setup where you've got some sort of head catch or something, you might need to build a stanchion just for stuff like this. If you're thinking you're just going to rope her off and milk her, like that'll work milking. But when you have to do something like that, where you have to run some medicine up into her quarter, actually, right? And by the way, after I run that through, you grab the bottom of that nipple and you kind of work that medicine up into her quarter, it's just easier. It's less stress on her, less stress on me. Keeps me from, I kind of used to have a joke that, like, my stepdad, he would watch political TV before we went to church on Sunday. And I would always joke that after you get done watching that, you go from wanting to go to church to having to go to church because you get mad. Sometimes livestock, you can lose your temper after you've messed with them for a little while, and you can go from wanting to go to church to having to go to church. So the less stress you can keep on everybody, the happier everybody's gonna be. No extra charge for this part of the video. Appreciate you guys.